Introducing Moon Audio's product guide for the Mini-I Pro 3 by Matrix Audio. First, let's take a look at the product features. To do so, go to moon-audio.com/brands. Scroll down until you see the Matrix Audio logo and click on it. This will take you to our Matrix Audio product brand page. Here we have all of the Matrix Audio products we sell. Find the Mini-I Pro 3 and click on it. This will take you to our product page where we have all of our product details for this unit. We have a detailed product description, manuals, specifications, and much more. Before we go any further, check the voltage switch found on the side of your device and make sure that it's set to show 115. This stands for 110 to 120 VAC, which is the common outlet voltage used in North America. Now setting up the device. If listening to this device via a streaming service such as Spotify, Qobuz, Roon, or Tidal, you have the following inputs found on the back. You have a Wi-Fi antenna, as well as a LAN port. We strongly recommend using the LAN port for the best listening experience, as Wi-Fi can occasionally have dropouts. If playing back from a local digital source, such as a Mac, PC, or game console, you have a coaxial port found on the back, an optical port, and what looks like IIS but is pronounced I2S port. Now this port looks like an HDMI input and will actually use an HDMI cable, but it is important to note that this is not an HDMI source. You'll need to use this exclusively with an I2S source such as the Matrix Audio XBIDIF 2. Lastly, there is a USB audio port found here. If listening back to this device via a local analog source, such as a CD transport or a turntable, you have a pair of RCA ports found on this device labeled as RCA-in. Now, how will you listen to your music? If listening back via headphones, you have a 1/4-inch jack found on the front, as well as a 4.4mm balanced Pentacon connection. If listening to this device via speakers, you have the following preamplified outputs found on the device. You have a pair of balanced XLR outputs, as well as a pair of single-ended RCA outputs. It's important to note that as these are preamplified outputs, you'll either need to use them directly with active speakers, or use this device with a separate speaker amplifier. Now let's cover device controls. Once you have plugged the power cord into the device, pressing the knob in on the front of the device will turn the device on. Turning the knob from the main screen will adjust the device's volume. Pressing the knob in once the device is already on will open up your inputs menu, and you can scroll through the inputs using this knob. Press in on this knob to select the input you wish to use. For additional settings, you'll need to press the settings button found on the back of the device. Much like the inputs menu, you will scroll through the various options using the knob and then press in on the knob to access that particular setting. Now, here are all the settings in order. Digital filter will change the roll-off and the sound signature of this device. Line out mode will adjust how you change the volume of your preamplified outputs. Fixed turns off the volume knob, and attenuation adjustable will leave it on. Line and gain. This will control how the fixed line output mode sets its default volume. You can have -6 decibels, 0 decibels, or +6 decibels. PLL will control the crystal clock bandwidth of this device. You can leave this at the default settings unless you're using a very old device with this and experience dropouts. That is the case, we recommend you try out the high setting. Bluetooth will pair or unpair your Bluetooth devices with this unit. I2S config will change between the 4 different I2S pin configurations available. Hearing protection will enable a volume gate that will require a prompt to bypass to listen at potentially unsafe volumes. Remote allows you to sync remotes to this device. Background will toggle between the 5 included background options. Brightness sets how bright or dim the LCD screen will appear. Options are high for bright all the time, low for dim all the time, or auto, where the device will be bright when in use and dim when not in use. Standby. When there is no signal, the device will enter into standby mode. Options are 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or disable, so the device won't go into standby unless you manually turn it off. Language. This will change the language displayed when using the device. Load default will reset the device to the factory defaults. Firmware update will check for the latest firmware provided you have an internet connection with this device. In this same menu, you can download the latest firmware updates and install them in this setting. Lastly, the final setting is exit, which will return you back to the main screen. This has been the Moon Audio product guide for the Matrix Audio Mini i Pro 3. Thank you for watching.